My sense is that a lot of Muslims have a particular personal relationship to the Quranic text. It's acquired over time through a set of surprises, and very often there are miracle stories, people seeing something of the unseen world as they understand it through some experience of the Quran. In most superstitious sense is the practice of that you open it and there is the verse that exactly speaks to your situation, which is a kind of divination that is regarded somewhat askance by the Orthodox, but is widely practiced. The idea that the Quran moves in one's hand, that one can have what's sometimes called a bibliotheophany, that through the Quran one is shown something that strengthens one's faith. It is said that after several such experiences, people do learn proper courtesy with the Quran, and they approach it as some kind of hot, radioactive text. And that's certainly the way in which you see very devout approaching the text. It's not because the rules say you have to touch it in a certain way, it's because of their own experience of the consequences of not dealing with it courteously. So it's to do with intuition, I would say. In terms of interpretation, well, it's not just the Quran, but the Hadith and the tradition generally, that, like anything else that's important, does require to be interpreted by experts. It's like medicine. You can pick up a medical textbook and say, I don't need to do a medical degree. This is how I do a cataract operation. And you go off and do it. And the results are likely to be catastrophic. And the interpretation of scriptural texts in particular, where the consequences for people's inward life or their moral life can be fairly cataclysmic if you get it wrong. And there's any number of sects, fundamentalist cults, and so forth in the world that thrive precisely on defying mainstream tradition and coming up with their own interpretation. But one should be very nervous of that. Maybe most of the ructions in today's world are caused by forced interpretations of scripture, what I call the Guantanamo school of scriptural interpretation. If you maltreat the text enough, it'll end up saying whatever you want to hear. And there are a lot of people, fundamentalists, liberals, all kinds of people around who are dealing with the text because they really want to hear something from it. And that ultimately is to put oneself in authority over the text, in which case you might as well not have a scripture.